Oof. Yes, yes, exactly. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening, boys and girls. Classmate. Yes, class. I need to put this down. 1 second. I want to add. Yes. Yes, I am using the new avatar. Isn't he cute? Yes, yes, yes. We've already given credit to my friend Vendenmia, who has or Kiyomi-chan, who has actually done that for us. Very, 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 very pretty, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just say, I wanted to put something like, uh, public. Just in case. Private Discord. I'm gonna put this out there so that there's no more confusion whenever I bring it up in the future. Just gonna do that, do that. Hold on, now I need a place to put it. Just put it out. Too big. Oh, let me use a different background actually. We'll use this. Oh wait, no. Oh, OBS. Yeah, they really don't want me to differentiate between the public and private class. No. Help, it won't go down properly. Excellent. Okay, so today we are going to continue building our, what do you call it? Our convenience store. That's right. I don't think that's the case, but yes, we're going to continue building our convenience store. And something that I noted last time was that we should be able to um, make a map that will then allow us to do like the traditional colors of a Japanese convenience store, right? So, oh, is it not on? 1 second. You're right, it isn't. There we go. We're building a family mart. What's wrong with building a family mart? Family marts are great. Okay, first. Yeah, this way we can actually see what's going on. Oh, I lost him. Okay, so I didn't actually research this ahead of time because I'm ridiculous and forgot. But how do we actually make a map? I believe it's with a map, right? Uh, yeah, maybe I should have looked it up. You know what? Part part of the enjoyment comes from. Okay, let's be honest, right? For most of our private school classmates, their enjoyment and the reason they even pay for this for this channel is to watch me not succeed. So I'll just not succeed. True. It is only half of you. Yes, that's I suppose that's correct. The other half, I don't know. The other half want to do really mean things to my avatar, so I don't know if that's better or not. uh, So I do need a cartography paper, right? I think. I don't know what to do here. Hold on. I guess I'll have to look this up. Mine. Well, I mean, if any of you played Minecraft, maybe you could tell me. Bedrock made map. The redstone does 4 iron smelt. Crafting table. Why is this a Business Insider article? Do any of you read Business Insider? Why is there a Business Insider article that tells us how to make maps in Minecraft? How ridiculous is that? Well, because I used to actually read Business Insider a little bit. Compass and 8 pieces of paper. Okay. Ooh, I have to take a call. Give me 1 quick second. Oh, hello? Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we need a map first, and that's apparently paper, and what else does this Business Insider article tell us? I still don't understand why it's on Business Insider. 9 pieces of... Oh, okay, no. I want... Wait. Compass and 8 pieces. It's okay. I fail. It's fine. You don't have to laugh at me that badly. It's because I can't recognize what a paper looks like. Imagine using paper, right? Okay, so that goes in there. Oh, okay. And because, okay. Take a few of those. Is this it? I don't think this is it. Did I just eat this paper for no reason? Hello? What do I do with the map? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's good. So, and then I assume we can post this map, say, on a wall. Oh. No. I don't know what you're talking about, man. No, don't worry. We'll post the map on the wall. I just need to fix our wall. Because otherwise, what would these poor Japanese people do when their convenience store gets flooded when it rains, right? Yeah, okay. So I think we need a frame. Item. So if I put a frame here, can I then put a map here? Yes. Ah, okay. And you see the map covers the entire thing. Okay, that's good. Excellent. Excellent. So what that means is we need to build a piece of land that is the color that we want, that is about this big. How big is it? I have no idea. Oh yeah, that's going to be quite a big piece of land, isn't it? Okay. We can look that up. How big is that Minecraft? Model size. Wait, what? Map, not house. How big is a Minecraft map item? 128 by 128 blocks. Okay. 1 block per pixel. 8 by 8 chunks. Oh, maps can be zoomed out. Okay, we don't want that. Okay, no, we're good. 128 by 128, that's fine. So now we need to do the family mart coloring. Green, white, and blue. Well, first we need a space for it, right? It's nice to have a map, right? Like you can. Oh, but how do you define a map? Oh, that's going to be annoying. Make a note. Oh no, not a map item. How to make a Minecraft map into what? Into picture? And also, hi Dari. Sorry, I didn't catch your message. For whatever reason, my windows were not aligned properly, so I didn't actually see that you had typed it. There we go. Oh. Flat enough. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. We can just presumably it'll just take the topmost, right? So we'll use colored terracotta. Yeah. White. This green? Or this blue? Might need this and white, and then this lime green. Excellent. Doesn't matter. We'll just we'll put the map down. Blue, white, and I do apologize that it's a rather boring stream today. My viewers demanded that they be bored out of their minds, so here we are. No, you definitely demanded it. Don't even lie. Ah, we're gonna do it. 128 by 128. That is difficult to count for, isn't it? Dude. How does it go? Actually, no, it's probably a bad idea to just build. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Actually, do that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually, yeah, this will be fun. We'll just do it like. oh, actually, it shouldn't matter that much because we are doing like if I just get the central part, then that'll be fine, right? So we'll make it plain. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, this does give us a nice opportunity to have some conversation while this is ongoing. It's extremely mindless. Yeah, exactly. Oh wow. Yeah. So, how is everyone today? Actually, that's a good point. Didn't I say originally when the oh, when they released the name of the co-defendant, or rather that they had charged what's his face as well as Elizabeth, that there would be some of that going on, right? And so now they are using that defense as well. So, right, like, yeah, because it's oh no, hold on. This one bears calculating. 2, 3. So we want 121, 128. So this is 20. This is 50. Yeah. So we were talking about Theranos. Yeah. Oh, but I can't do that and count at the same time. Just assume that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not no. So that's half. How much is the green at the top? That looks like it's about a third. So 128, a third of 128 is about 40. So we'll go up to 40. I can't talk about Theranos and talk at the same time. Sorry. 3, 3, 8, 80. Okay. So that would leave it with 58. That's still a little bit more. So we'll do 30. We might not want to do 38. We'll do 30. Okay. Now I think I can start talking about Theranos. Essentially, it was just a gigantic cluster of like just epic proportions, right? Like they didn't have the tech, so they hired a lab to fake it. So when they faked it, then what came out was amazing because obviously it was fake. Like I think that stands for itself, right? Yeah, and so afterwards, what they did was, well, when that all got found out, obviously the entire company got liquidated, and the trial had been essentially been in preparation. Yeah, and so that's a good question. Why did like so many famous people sign on? Because famous people are not experts. Famous people are still people, and people are retarded, right? Like let's be very clear about that. Sorry, yes, except for you. No, the problem isn't that. The problem isn't that. The problem is that because of the way that Theranos was run, because of the way that Theranos was run, it simply wasn't possible to check to do like a sanity check on its work. Like unless you were to say like visit the lab and like observe them happening, observe them working in real time, and that usually doesn't happen, right? Like they can have a whole bunch of reasons for why they're not going to allow you to do that. Yeah, we need 128 of these. We're at 40, so well, no, what was that? Uh, yes, it certainly is securities fraud, but it's even more fundamentally, it's just fraud. So you don't need to persecute. You don't need the SEC to persecute. And indeed, that's not what they're doing, right? Like Elizabeth Holmes is on trial for what 20 years. Like I think maximum is 20 years. I don't know what she's being charged. Is securities fraud? Actually, are none of you involved in that? I would have expected at least some of you to have been involved. Yeah, because that seems like the kind of high-profile case that your firms would be really interested in, right? I mean, okay, 28. Um, I do believe if by the allegations you mean the abuse allegations against her romantic partner, right? Yeah, and I do. Mostly because culturally it does seem to happen. Let's put it that way. Yeah, because it as a civilization that has been shown to be the case. How does that look, by the way? Is that about the right? Oh right, I can't tap out. No, to me that looks about right. Maybe one less green. What do we think? Ah, we'll just keep it. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so back to the topic at hand. It's not something I really want to go into depth about, but uh, you'll notice that there's very little conversation happening about it in the West, even though it is, and there is a lot of conversation about that kind of like behavior in India, and so a lot of Indian friends I have do talk to me about this kind of behavior, that it's very much a male-dominated chauvinistic society, right? And that can and does lead into all sorts of societal issues that come along. Yeah, it's unfortunate, right? It really is. Well, obviously it's not for me to judge, so I'm just not going to, right? Well, I mean, what can I even? Don't. Like, it's, well, no, it's obviously that is the only thing I can say, right? Don't. But it's thousands of years of culture that and nobody's going to change just because some douchebag building a friggin' Japanese convenience store on YouTube is said something, right? So I think it's just an awareness issue. Like if you guys actually that's a good point. If you lot want to help, especially especially the member that just offered, talk to your female Indian coworkers, because they'll give you a perspective that you don't really get in sort of English North American media about what's happening within that culture, and you'll find it's quite a bit more different than you would imagine. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot more complex. Obviously, you're going to have all sorts of. We should talk about that. Well, it's just like cases like these always make me sad, right? Because I would have loved that all companies and in fact all companies, whether they're fraudulent or not, should be judged on the merit of their own ability. And this case is going to be forever tainted by these allegations against her former romantic partner. Not that these aren't strong statements. Obviously, they are very much worthy of discussion and worthy of understanding the effects that they had on her. Right? I just wish we lived in a society where this wasn't an issue. Obviously, but that's just me being idealistic. Well, can't you tell by my avatar? I'm literally I'm not a child. That is what I looked like when I was 18. Wait, no, never mind. Wait. No. Remember, I forgot all about my character concept. We need to spend some time to actually write it down. Remember, I am a demon from whatever societal hell that you'd imagine, and I have come to study humanity and to understand how humanity works, because apparently the underworld is no longer as much fun as it used to be. Yeah, that is indeed my character concept, and I'm sticking to it. Well, it would help if I had a concept to begin with, right? Yeah, but that's part of the appeal, like at least according to the channel on the Discord that I'm not allowed into. I think there has been some talk about. Actually, not mine. I wouldn't want to violate the the sanctity of a channel that I'm not allowed into. But I know what you guys do. Right? Our administrator has to be in there, and she giggles a lot and tells me that it's stuff that I'm not allowed to know about. So I assume it's you lot talking trash about me. Well, that's exactly that's what I meant by trash. I don't actually mean that you're like making fun of me or insulting me, but rather like you know, exactly that kind of smut. I mean, if it keeps you going in the office, by all means, absolutely, please. No, no, there will be no membership fees or no extraneous membership fees for additional services. That's not how this works. Can you imagine though? That would be. I don't know how I would feel about that. Well, just because exactly, right? Like I having worked with I think what 80% of you at one point in my life, it just feels weird to think of you as just like thirsty. Yes, yes. It just feels weird to think of all of these, like respected lawyers being just like really thirsty schoolgirls who almost dropped from the sky. Really thirsty schoolgirls underneath. That's just. I mean, I could have put it in a slightly nicer way, yes. But I chose not to. No. Okay, okay. Yes, I can talk about Google now. Cool. Absolutely. What is there really to talk about? We have talked about most of it, right? So I talked about. Oh, we needed a center point, otherwise it wouldn't have lined up properly. Ugh. We'll see what happens. Right, Google, Android, Chrome, all terrible. Uh, but for reasons, for basically the same reason, actually, both Android and Chrome. Originally, Android was pitched as when Google bought it off. What's his name? Andy Rubin, I think. When they bought it off him originally, it was pitched as an open source ecosystem for a modern smartphone that everyone can hack and everyone can contribute to in in the spirit of the open source community, right? It'd be like Linux except on your smartphone, which is obviously why Ubuntu didn't like the Ubuntu phone didn't work out. But that's a whole different issue. Yeah, so it was supposed to be just like Chrome. Actually, Chrome was pitched as the open source Chromium project was pitched as the a way to make browsing better and democratized because everyone could see the code, could modify the code, and so the community would keep it safe. Whereas Internet Explorer, which was the dominant piece of crap at the time, would be would essentially be outcompeted by that front, right? And because it was backed by Google, essentially what that meant was that for the first time, the open source community had this champion that could make sure that development continued. Because in a lot of the open source world, if the maintainer stops working and nobody else wants to take on the project, so now Google would be the maintainer, and so therefore they would be it would be good, or rather it would have long-term potential. Hmm. But obviously that's really not what happened, right? Like in the beginning, we used to be able to download open source Chromium directly off the Chromium development website, and then slowly over the years, Google reined that back in. Now you can't get Chromium unless you want to build it from source. And there are good reasons for that, because Chromium doesn't include a lot of the proprietary code that Google is injecting into Chrome. And it's necessary because Google wants you to use all of their services, and so they make Chrome the ideal way to get all of the services or they reduce the amount of activation energy needed to get yourself hooked on all of Google's services, right? Because again, that's the whole point of Google, right? It makes massive amounts of advertisement money, and by doing so, it can It can leverage all of that data to sell targeted ads, and people pay more for targeted ads because it's more likely to convert into a sale. And so by having all of that precious data, Google is able to essentially make better sales. And the idea was that originally Google their original pitch of an open source browser now, of course, doesn't make any sense, because to make Chrome easy to use with all of Google's proprietary stuff, it needs proprietary code, and that's sort of antithesis of what open source is, right? And you can see that you can see that being expressed very, very clearly in who uses Chrome, right? Because in this day and age, there are not many open source forks of Chromium projects. The only people that use Chromium are people like Microsoft and browser vendors, like big browser vendors that don't want to build their own engines, right? The only people left really that are building their own HTML rendering engine and JavaScript engine are Apple, obviously for obvious reasons, and mostly Firefox, right? Those are the two big ones left. Everybody else in the industry uses Chromium as a backend, and that's extremely disappointing, right? Because that means Google has essentially used its claim of open source to establish itself as a monopolist. And why does this have anything to do with Android? Because literally the exact same methodology was used to make Android as open source unfriendly as possible, while still claiming that it is open source, right? Like I think we talked about an email from the discovery process of the Epic versus Google lawsuit that talked about how even Google's own executives talk about how terrible it is a user experience for people to install Fortnite outside of the Google Play Store, and that's essentially it. Yeah. Yes, that's the idea, right? By making it really, really difficult, but still theoretically possible, you give your marketing guys the firepower necessary for them to make fun of other people, right? And the general population isn't usually involved enough to think that it's not so, right? And so by being able to sell Android as open source, and by saying, oh, you can install whatever you want, blah blah blah, Google sought at least to keep the Play Store, or to keep Android from being monopolistic, right? And I should mention here, like Microsoft was sued for monopoly back almost before I was born, and Microsoft was sued for much less market dominance than what Google and Apple have in this day and age, right? And the fact that apparently it's still much more difficult to sue Google now than it was to sue Microsoft back in the day, it really speaks to how how much privacy and how much market power the US has essentially given up. Like, it has ceded the rights to technology companies. And that just feels amazing. Yeah. Oh yeah. So how does Android work? Well, so in the beginning, everything, you know, everything that Google wanted to improve about Android would be written into the Android open source project, and then compiled for Android phones, like the Google version, and then that would be given to the phone vendors to implement into their phone. And so phone vendors weren't happy to do that on the level that software required, right? So you need to update software for smartphone every couple months, simply because of security issues. And originally, the original manufacturers of Android, like Samsung, HTC, what else was there? I love my HTC One though. I still have it, even though it's completely useless now. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point was these hardware vendors didn't really want to use that spend the money and resources to do things the proper way for software. And so what Google said was, you know what, forget them. We'll pull the important stuff out of the operating system, so the operating system can get yearly refresh cycles, and we'll put it all into a thing called Google Play Service. The problem with that, of course, suddenly it's no longer open source, so they can do whatever they want, and all of the important things that make Android phones so nicely usable come out of the operating system and go into Google Play Service, right? And and so that's why, right? And then yes, I was about to talk about that. And then you have things like the Open Handset Alliance, which, it sounds great. It sounds like, oh, we want to make open phones that everyone can use, but in reality, what it is it's actually incredibly interesting. It means that if you want to sell phones with Google services, you cannot use another version of Android. So you cannot use a fork of Android that is not Google's own fork of Android. So if you want to sell phones that have Google Play on top of it, you can only sell phones that have Google Play, that have all Google services on top, right? So it means for manufacturers that they cannot simultaneously make phones for companies that use Google, and phones for companies that don't use Google. Obviously, you don't really see a problem with that, because basically everyone uses Google. But that's the idea, right? By dramatically limiting market access to secondary Android-derived operating systems, you are literally stifling the market. Yeah, absolutely. And the funniest part is the biggest name that's being stifled is Amazon, right? Because all of Amazon's Android devices don't run Google Play Store, because I guess Jeff didn't want to. But that meant that Amazon devices had to be manufactured by like second and third tier manufacturers, because the first tier manufacturers were contractually unable to manufacture devices for Amazon. Right? Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely the case, right? But of course, Google has enough lawyers to be able to defend that, I'm sure, in a court. But that's not saving them much these days, right? Because obviously the law that just got passed in South Korea that forced the app stores to allow third-party payments is sort of the first step, right? Sooner or later, you have the ability for other people to develop competition, whereas before there was simply no competition, and therefore there was no way or there was no need for these companies to improve, especially for Google, right? Like that, we've talked about how, I can't remember my exact quote, but we've talked about how the founders for Google didn't see the need to improve or to change, and then when they gave control over to Eric Schmidt, he didn't see the need to change anything, right? Like there was enough market power and there was enough market dominance that it simply did not matter. And then after that, what's his face? I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. The current head of Google, just Google, not Alphabet, is just doesn't care, right? Like you see it very clearly in their health divisions, right? Like nothing happened, and then in payments as well, nothing happened, simply because nothing needed to happen. When you have 80% of the market, when you have basically 100% of the low cost market, there's very little you need to do to change. That's okay. This is not a comparison to me, okay? Because if it hasn't escaped your notice, even my change in avatar was prompted by market forces. So I'm very much responding to market forces. Yes, exactly. I am. You can't. It's impossible to get the Federal Trade Commission on me because I am not a monopoly. I'm certainly not trying to stifle innovation, right? Like I'm not telling people who can compete with me to not compete with me. It's just that people who can compete with me for, I guess, you guys' money, for the money of our private school classmates, that is, those people, I guess, aren't as cool as I, you know? I jest, of course. I don't mean that in the slightest way. No, I genuinely don't. I remember what I had talked about in the past, right? And I say this every few streams that I firmly believe that whatever I have been able to do, that almost anyone can do if they put their mind to it. Like to this day, I firmly believe that. It's just difficult because it requires not only hard work but also an element of chance, and we can prepare for good luck by how do you say, by essentially having all of the tools ready, but it's still good luck, right? And definitely for me, I was, at least for my first and my, I guess, third company, I was very much in the right place at the right time. Yeah. No, we cannot change the convenience store anymore. No, that's definitely not happening. Okay, I just spent like the past 40 minutes clicking the right mouse button. I'm not changing the color of the convenience store. Oh, doesn't the post moving past make it seem like we're on a train? Kind of cute. A little bit romantic, isn't it? Yeah, I like that idea. Right? Like we're just sitting in a train watching the scenery go past. And also we can see the ray tracing in action. Yes. Actually, if you pay very close attention to the posts as they move past, and as they interact with the clouds, you can see that the ray tracing is not keeping up with the rest of the images. Can you see that? Like there's artifacting at the end of the green posts where the clouds are, and that's simply because the GPU that I'm running isn't the what is it, 2080 Ti. It's not running enough ray tracing calculations per second to make up for it. Yeah, exactly. What do I think of NVIDIA and ARM? It would really help NVIDIA. The ARM acquisition, yes, absolutely. I can see why Jensen would want to buy it. I can see why he would also want to keep it independent, right? Like NVIDIA is going deep into data centers now because they simply cannot. Like there's only so much profit you can make in the consumer graphics card segment. So with their bet on AI and big data, they need more CPUs, and obviously it's more difficult to design a vertically integrated stack if you don't own ARM, right? Like if you want to use ARM to design a vertically integrated stack with the NVIDIA GPUs or like CUDA, whatever the machine learning, right? Yeah, it makes it difficult. I genuinely I don't think that NVIDIA would refuse to license ARM technology out to competitors. I mean, who's competing, right? Like the competitors that NVIDIA has. Actually, let me think about it. That's a good question. I don't think NVIDIA has competitors that use. Like the reason why they want ARM is to build a vertically integrated data center operation, right? Like it's got nothing to do with their consumer GPU business. So I don't see any reason why NVIDIA would disallow IP to be used by third, because it's mostly IP that there is no direct competition for. Obviously, there are. One of my co-founders is now working on like a pure ARM-based AI chip, and that you could see machine learning chip, yeah, and that you could see competing with NVIDIA on sort of a more fundamental basis. But even then, the space is big enough that I don't think they will. Obviously, the regulators are worried not about just today, but 20 years from now, and that's fair. That's fair. I have no idea. Right? It would be a huge bet, yes, but I mean, he has the money, right? The market cap for NVIDIA is stupid, and SoftBank kind of needs the money after. Yes. Yeah. For reference, SoftBank owns ARM right now and is bleeding a little bit after the Chinese tech crap that's been going on over the past few months, and so because of that, that's why Masayoshi Son wanted to sell ARM, and that's why NVIDIA swooped in and offered for ARM, because NVIDIA has the shares to essentially to allow SoftBank to get its balance sheet in. Not SoftBank, but you know what. I would have no idea how to explain SoftBank. No. I exactly with the Vision Fund and everything. I have like SoftBank as a whole is just It's just very, very difficult for me to think about. And I do apologize for our new viewers who are here today, whom I invited, and it turned into a day of talking about technology companies that I assume must be very boring for a lot of viewers. Well, tomorrow, what are we doing tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday. I have no idea. What's being sponsored for tomorrow? Can our admin just quickly check? Is it not over yet? Oh, it's not over yet. Okay. Well, I have no idea what we're doing tomorrow. But tomorrow, I think we'll talk about something more philosophical than just like tech companies and the trouble of the tech industry. What do you mean Theranos is not part of the tech industry? Theranos is literally as tech startup as tech startups can be. Like, sure, it's a biotech. Well, I mean, it's right there, right? It's a biotech company, but it's literally like there's this saying in venture capital that the acceptable amount of securities fraud is greater than 0. It's certainly not 0, right? And then so no. Well, that's just it, right? You don't have as many. You just don't get as many honest tech founders as compared to me, right? Obviously. Well, I mean, the person who made the joke knows very well what she's talking about, because she actually had to help me defend against accusations of securities fraud for one of my companies, and we were very clear, and the evidence was very clear that there was no wrongdoing. So I don't know. What do you want me to say? I am generally an upstanding young man, and that's, I mean, I assume that's why you watch me, not because I fail all the time. Okay, fine. 50-50. Yep. Excellent. I don't think there's a fast way to do this, no. I mean, okay. If we had Minecraft in if we were in the Java version, yes, there would definitely be a faster way of doing this. The whole point of me playing Bedrock Edition was that I didn't have to deal with the Java version, right? Yeah, I didn't have to deal with, like, oh, I don't even want to talk about the mod scene in Minecraft. Oh my god. Sure, we can talk about it. Oh, it's not even that big of a deal. It's just like tech bros on one hand, and how do we say, radical equalists? No, radical. I don't know what to call it. Radical open source, I guess. On the other hand, yeah. So you have, I think it's still just Forge and Fabric, which are two sort of underlying methodologies of attaching mods to Minecraft, right? Because Minecraft is written in Java, so you could literally just append extra code to it to make things better. And so Forge was the first one, and it's run by a bunch of tech bros, and it's run in a very interesting way, in that it's barely run at all. And I'm not sure how for profit it is, but I mean, given how profitable some like really bad Minecraft servers are, you can imagine that, you know, our tech bros are definitely broing it off. Yes, that is the official term approved by Travis Kalanick himself. Yeah. We had this conversation last time about tech founders being very illiterate, and yes, it's true. Most of them really are. Right. Anyway, so I was going to talk about Fabric, which is the more radically open source version, and that's ongoing, and people have been developing it. It's I don't know. It's good. It's good. I just don't want to deal with it. Oh yes, yes. Seizure warning. Actually, I feel like I'll do it like this. Should be okay. I'll do it like this. There we go. Touch it. Oop. There we go. Okay. So our map is done. Now I just need to turn it into a map. Yeah, I know I didn't have to delete these, but it would bother me, so I do have to delete. Oh, did I do it in the right? Oh, I forgot. I don't think I'm pointing north. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, let's make a map and see what happens. Map 4. Huh. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, thank you very much for watching. As usual, I have completely wasted your time. Yes, it was just a complete colossal waste of time. I am so happy that you were able to join us today. Yes, we will I guess pick this up in the near future where we will completely have to redo this because yes. Well, I don't know what else to say. Good night. Okay, we're done. Oh, right. In conclusion, please download Firefox. Please don't do Chrome. We literally just talked about it earlier today, why Chrome is terrible. And that's it for today. Bye-bye.